3 superpowers to kickstart your journey to be a successful project manager. My name is Guilherme and I'm a project management specialist. I help professionals to become successful project managers. Before I start, make sure you like and share this content. That helps me to understand that this content is valuable for you, but also helps this content to reach more people and help more people to learn project management and sharpen their skills in project management. This content is part of the warm-up for the project management journey. Sorry, the warm-up for the project management summit. The project management summit will start on Monday, so make sure that you are ready. It will be 1 week, 4 sessions, where where you're going to have a lot of content. You're going to have extra material. You're going to have extra exercise. You're going to have a private community where you can share your exercise, where you can get feedback, where you can ask questions, and everything there will be free. So don't miss it. This is very important. Make sure if you're interested there, you subscribe in the link below here, and make sure also you join the WhatsApp group so you do not miss anything. And of course, please reply the survey. The survey helps me to understand more about you, what are your challenges, and helps me to create more added value content for you. And everything I'm doing here for free. So if you help me, I can provide you better value for you also for free. So let's talk about the 3 superpowers to kickstart your project management journey. What I'm going to say here, it might sound very simple, but this is very relevant and very important. And I'm going to tell you here, most people don't do that. So this is the type of thing that looks very simple in theory, but a lot of times in practice, it's not. So the first superpower that I want to share with you is that you need to take the first step. And again, you say, this is quite stupid, everyone can do that. True, everyone can do that, but most of people, they don't. And I'm going to tell you a story that happened probably 1 or 2 months ago. I was talking with a person, then engaged in one of my trainings there, project management training. In this discussion, he was like, yeah, I want to be a project manager. I want to start my project management career. And I said, okay, nice. Then I asked, are you applying for positions? And then no. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Then I asked, okay, do you want me to take a look in your CV to help you in this process to make sure that if you have a nice CV, usually you get a higher chance to go for an interviews, and later on I can even help you to prepare for an interview. And the person was like, yes, I would love to do that, but give me some months because I want to study, I want to prepare. And then he created, I don't know, a lot of excuse in his mind. And when he said, oh, just wait a few months and you are going to see, and I was sure, okay, he's not going to do anything with that. He's not going to do much with the training, and he's not going to start to apply for positions, and likely and there's a big chance that he will never be a project manager. And why? Because if you're starting your career and you do not, you don't have experience, or you're working outside of project management, your first step should be start to look for positions, understanding the requirements, and applying for those positions. The applying for the position is very important because that's the first step. Like, you cannot win a game that if you do not even compete. You are not going to win the game if you do not show up in the game. That's a basic idea. Like, you are not going to make a free shot if you do not throw the ball. And there's a very famous quote saying that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And why I'm saying that taking the first step, it's really the superpower that you need right now. If you're in your career, because most of people, they are not going to do that. They are going to find all types of excuses. Say, I'm going to prepare a bit more, I'm going to study more, I'm going to wait for a better timing. Guess what? The better time will never come. You are never going to feel that you are ready. You are not going to never being fully prepared, and then you are never going to progress. So this story, I tell you, that's a story that I've seen a lot of times, and I'm telling you here a story from someone that want to apply for project management. Also, you can take this first step. You can see this in all types of different ways. For example, a lot of people say that they want to have the PMP, And in reality is, even for people that do the preparatory trainings, most of them, they never take the exam. So they never take really the real step there. Well, of course, doing a training is safe. You can just buy a training, you can attend, or you cannot. Sometimes people don't even attend the trainings. How do I know that? Because I have my own training. And I can see people that just buy the training and never open the training. I can see this when I do it privately, but I can see also in the trainings that I give in a corporate environment. Some people, they subscribe, and even though if it's the company paying, they never show up. Or sometimes they show up in one session or two sessions and that's it. So the training, it's the safe environment. And it's like if you're trying to learn how to swim by reading a book. You say, I'm going to read everything in this book here. And after I read all the books about swimming around the world, then I'm going to try to enter the pool. That's an excuse. That's procrastination. So taking the first step there, it's very important. Remember that a journey of 1,000 miles that will start with the first step. It's a Chinese proverb there from the Taoism. And it's true, because if you never start, you're never going to get anywhere. And by start, I do not mean taking the safe path. I'm doing a training. Then from this training, you say, but I think I need to do another one. Then you're going to create, I think I need to do a certification. Then you need to do a training to do the certification. But then you do not feel prepared to do the certification. And the list of excuses will just increase. Guess what? My challenge here to you is go just after this video, open your LinkedIn, open for a position and apply that. And I want to see, and if you do that, send me a message. Say, hey, I just took your advice and I applied for the position. I'll be happy to talk with you. And I can tell you, if you do just that, you are going to be probably in the front of, I don't know, 50, 60, 70% of the people that keep just preparing, waiting for the magic timing, for the stars to align and everything else. And I can tell you, those things, they do not exist. Yes, the stars are going to align for you and everything will work out, but you need to start working on that. You need to start take action on that, taking the first step. So there's one very famous coach, performance coach that I follow, and then he always say like, you do not need to be ready to start. You need to start to be ready. Why? Because if you want to build skills, you need to start before you're going to build skills. You're not going to have the skills and then you're going to have the skills, the knowledge, and say, now I can take the initiative and I'm going to start it. No, it does not work like that. So very important here, take the first step. Take the first step. And I'm interested to hear from you. Please take the first step and send me a message. Say, hey, or please comment in the video if you want. Say, hey, I applied for my first position here today for project management position. That's what I want to hear from you. That's my challenge here for you. So if you're like most of people and you're going to tell me, right now it's not a good time, and you can keep waiting, whatever it's a good time for you, but you're going just postponing your goals. If that's okay for you, that you are going to procrastinate and postpone your life, that's also your decision. But if you want my help, that's what I'm telling you to do. Take the first step. The second one, the second superpower, it's one that you are going to use it in your personal life, in your career, if it's in project management or anything else. And this superpower is persistence. Well, if you're working, like persistence for what? Well, if you just took my first advice and you are applying for a position, there's a chance that you apply and you're never going to hear back from this company. Guess what? That's the market. But if you are like people that try once and twice and you just give up, you're not going to achieve anything. And honestly, if you are like that, you're probably not going to be a good project manager. Why? Because as a project manager, you're going to face projects that they fail, they go wrong for all types of reasons that are outside of control. You're going to have discussions in the team, conflicts in the team. You're going to have escalations, pressure from the customer. You're going to have changes, risks, and all types of stuff that happen in a project that are complete outside of your control. And if you cannot endure those things, if you cannot persist, the chances are you're not a good fit for a position like that. And the chances are that very likely you're not going to achieve a lot in your life. And sorry, I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just saying that if you do not persist on stuff, those things don't work. There's no secret magic. There's no secret sauce. There's no magic pill. Because I talked with also probably someone last week, and he said, I want to work in project management. And say, okay, nice. Are you trying? No, no. Some time ago, I tried few positions in the construction, but they did not work out. Then I gave up. No, but now I want to try IT. Like, the problem is not the industry that you are selecting. The problem is you're not even given a real shot. And guess what? I already mentioned this few times. Uh, it's not only with you those kinds of things that happen. Like when I moved to the US to pursue my international career, I started to look for a job there. I applied very easily in this period that I was looking for that for more than 400 positions. For most of them, I've never even heard back. Not even to say, okay, we decided to move forward with another candidate. For some of them, I heard it, okay, we decided to move forward with another candidate. For some of them, I just go for an interview, but that's the way it is. Huh? So you need to persist into your career. And if you have a goal and if you have something that's worthwhile, you should work there. This is quite important. And if you want even to give an upgrade in the persistent, you can be even better. You can be anti-fragile. And this is something I did not create that, by the way. If you're wondering, there's a book called Anti-Fragile. Very nice book, and I do recommend you to read it. Basically, what's the definition of anti-fragile? That's if you're persistent or if you're resilient, what happened? That something will bend. If you're resilient, something will bend and will come back to the original position. Something that's anti-fragile will bend, but it will come up better than it was when it was bended. And of course, nature there has plenty of examples of that. But if you want to an upgrade in this persistence and how you're going to progress, be anti-fragile. And again, I'm not saying it's very okay. You are going to say, okay, that's very simple. Yes, it's simple, but most people don't do it. Guess what? If you're a project manager and if you are working a project, you are going to have all types of challenges. And for example, I had a project a few years ago that the supplier declared bankruptcy. If my first reaction was just gave up, then I was done, right? The supplier bankrupt, outside of my control, I'm not going to do anything. Well, we start to monitor the supplier much closely. We kick off a second source to try to do something else. There's all types of actions that you always can do. And of course, I share, there's something very nice that I've read it in, even this week from the Daily Stoic, that they say he explained a story about General D. Eisenhower. He was the great commander of the Allied troops in the World War II. And the night before the D-Day, the invasion in the Normandy, that the Allied force they were taking back Europe, their continental Europe. And he writes to his wife saying that we did everything that we could. Everyone is motivated, everyone is trying to do his best, but the outcome is in the lap of the gods. And this is so profound because one of the most powerful person in the world at the time, he also recognized that even though that he was doing his best, the outcome was not fully on him. There's a bigger force, whatever you want to call, you call God's destiny, fate, or whatever. What's important here? Well, you put your work and you persist. And then, of course, then you're going to get positive results. And that will be exactly like that for all types of projects. If you see a project, like a few years ago, I had a project that I was building basically the energy infrastructure of a wind farm. So it was a 12-month contract. Then I had to come up with a design, do the engineering, procurement, and construction and testing to make sure that the startup could happen. And a lot of people told me, That's impossible. I've never seen a project that was delivering this timeline in this company. Well, if I would have taken this advice, I would have just given up. Or if I would have just given up, like once the supplier, once my designer, he started to delay one of my critical parts of the design, and say, okay, it's tough, and gave up. I would not have delivered the project on time. What did I do at this time? Oh, I find a second supplier, took out the design from this supplier, moved to the other one, pushed the other one to go faster, negotiated. You find a way, but you need to persist. And that's like that in a project environment, and that's like that in your personal life, that's like that in your career. Because if you do not persist, if you do not move forward, you're not going to achieve much. And it's the same idea. I saw an example, I guess, from Simon Sinek. He's talking about consistency and how you need to persist and stuff. He gave the example: if you go to the gym one day, what you're going to see? Nothing. If you go to the gym 2 days, what you're going to see? What difference you're going to notice? Nothing. If you do that for 1 week, likely you're not going to know anything. Well, if you do that for 6 months, 1 year, well, then you start to notice a difference. Then you start to know the progress. So you should not underestimate those small progress that you put there every day, because in the long run that makes a lot of difference. And that's why persistence makes a lot of difference, because if you persist, you are going to look to be more consistent. And then in the long run, then you're going to develop yourself, because then you're going to face the challenge that you have in your project. You are going to continue to develop yourself. You're going to develop a growth mindset. And that's, in the long run, that will make all the difference in your career. So this is quite important. So don't underestimate that. And the third superpower that I want to give to you here is immerse yourself into project management and keep doing that consistently. So deep dive and immerse yourself. Why I'm saying that? Again, because some people, they say, oh, I'm going to start project management. It's something that you should do a 1 day training or 1 week training, and you never do anything again. Something completely different is if you study and you progress every week. Maybe you do not have, I don't know, 10 hours to study every week. That's fine. Find, I don't know, 15 minutes, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And if you did that for 1 year, I can tell you, your life is going to change, because you keep developing yourself. You're going to have new ideas, different ways of working. So this immersion, it's important that you are in the right environment there. And that's also why I created this community for the Project Management Summit, because I want this right people to be there, and I want you to exchange stuff. So you ask questions, you see other people following exercises, and that helps because it gets you more motivated. So it's very important for you to do that. And again, if you keep immersing yourself in project management, then you enter the world and you start to study, and you're going to see a lot of stuff. And I can tell you, it's a huge world. It's not only what you heard, Agile and waterfall, and that's it. There's a huge amount of stuff to learn, to explore, to develop skills. And this is quite nice. And that's not something that's going to happen at once. That's also why important that you need to do this with consistency, with the right focus, and you do that in the long term, because that's what's going to lead you to achieve to be a successful project manager. So make sure that you take the first step there. And the first step, it can be starting your application. It can be like booking your PMP exam, doing a training, because there's people that they start work with project management, they say, I already know everything, and they do never study, they never try to improve. They just say, yeah, I know, I've been working with project management for 1 year, and I'm joking about 1 year, but I've seen people saying that they are working with project management for 30 years, and they just know what they know there, what their peers do. They've never thought, okay, let's see what other companies are doing, what project management is developing. So taking this first step to move forward is very important. Persist in your journey there, because that's what you're going to face challenges. You're going to have roadblocks. And you're going to need to adapt. You're going to need to be resilient there, or anti-fragile if you prefer, but you need to persist. The only sure way to fail is to give up. And of course, immerse yourself and be consistent from what you're doing here. But I even in this environment, I have some good news for you, because I can help you with the item number one, that's taking the first step, and I can help you with the item number three, that's to immerse yourself into project management, working this consistency. How I can do that? Well, first of all, that's why I created the Project Management Summit. It's a free event, 4 sessions where I'm going to share a lot of stuff. And that's why I created weekly content for you. Here, of course, in YouTube, it's weekly content, because then we are talking about much more profound and long explanations. But like on Instagram, I have even daily content, smaller pieces of project management that you can understand and move forward every day. And if you do that every day, every week, through a long period of time, you are going to make a difference. That's why I'm saying I can help you with that. That's why I have been doing that already for 2 years. And if you do not believe me, because my Instagram, my YouTube channel here might have, I don't know, 1 year old or something like that, you can go back and look for my Instagram account. Go back and look for my first post. And you're going to see that I've been doing that daily, every day for 2 years already. And that's consistency, of course. And you're going to see also my evolution, that I start to improve how I post my content, what type of content I post, the type of interactions I can have, how I speak. Why I'm saying that about my Instagram account? Because it's just to show you how the consistency makes the difference there. And I'm telling you that I want to be with you in this journey, that I can help you into this journey. So if you're looking, I just trying to push you here for the first step. And next week we are going to have 4 sessions where I'm going to give you much more content, more exercise, and more incentives to push forward and move to the first step. And then I created a lot of content to make sure that you can immerse yourself in project management and you can be consistent with that. So with the step number 1 and number 3, I'm helping you. I'm trying to do my best to help you here. But if you do not want to persist, if you do not want to put the work there, then nothing that I can do will help you. Not only me. Nobody basically will help you unless you want to help yourself. Because if I'm telling you, start to apply for positions, start working your CV, let's go move forward. And you tell me, oh no, but I'm going to prepare for a few months, but wait and see. Of course, that's not going to help. You're not going to go anywhere like that, wait and see. You need to take action right now. And then I already mentioned the same thing for PMP. I see people that I'm studying for the exam PMP. How long have you been studying for the PMP? Some people they're saying they're doing that for more than 1 year. And I've seen, I've met more than 100 people that they were already preparing for the PMP. And some of them, they were working the same company as I. Some of them, it's friends. Some of them, it's just people that I networking that I did. What I can tell you, most of those people, they've never even took the exam. Because they were always preparing, then say, oh, I need to prepare a bit more, then a bit more, then I need to do something else, then life happens in between. But then you say, no, now something happened. I think I kind of forgot a bit of the content, I need to prepare a bit more. And you do not, what's the first step if you want to take the PMP? Book the exam. Because to book the exam, you need to pay $500 there. Then I'm pretty sure if you pay the $500, you're going to follow through that. That's why they say that money is a way to transform and to make sure people are committed. Because if you have to pay for something, the chances are a bit higher that you're going to do something with that. And so take the first step today. Stop procrastinating. Take the first step and send me a message. Say, hey, I just watched your video, found a first position here, took my CV and applied. Maybe your CV is not ideal right now. That's fine. guess what? Done it's better than perfect. I prefer that you apply it and you start to apply it and start to improve your CV while you go into this process. Then you keep waiting the best CV in the world that you're never going to happen. It's better that you take initiative in your project today. So you can look out, you can take this first step. What's the first step that you need in your project right now? Because you can be a project management for already, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, but if you've never studied project management, you've never been in any type of training, you've never talked about people, you've never tried to develop yourself, the chances are you really need to take your first step and start to learn, to start to build knowledge and develop new skills there. Because this is very important. And of course, keep persisting. You're going to, what I can guarantee 100%, also you're going to face challenges. And again, this is not only you, this is everybody, including myself. You always have the challenge that you need to overcome. You need to work in different angles. But if you do not persist, those things will not work. And if you want my help with the immersion part and to be consistent, that's why I created this channel here in YouTube. That's why I have my channel on Instagram. And even that's why I have my own training with different format that I want to support people through at least 1 year to make sure that they keep developing there. But that's the trick. If that's the trick for everything, if people buy like my training or buy any other type of training, but they do not take the first step, at least the first step to watch the training, that's the safest thing that you can do, then yeah, I cannot help you. If you do not take the step also to ask questions, that gets difficult for me and for everybody to make sure that you can progress into your career. So these initial steps here, you can develop these or you can see this in a lot of different ways. But if you do not use any of those three superpowers, what I'm calling, just because it's catchy, of course, and of course I like also superheroes, then yeah, I'm a kid from the 90s, sorry. But if you do not use those things, you're going to have challenges in your career. Then it gets difficult, right? And life will happen with you. But you need to take a decision by yourself. And I'm asking you, take this decision now. And it can be for project management or for anything else. But for God's sake, take a decision and try something. That's the important thing. Try something, define your goal, and start to work to progress into your goal. And don't come say, yeah, I want to be a project management. I'm going to study project management for, I don't know, for 6 months before I start to apply. If you say that to me, I already know that you're not going to do anything with that. Sorry, you also can prove me wrong if you can tell me that I've been studying project management for, I don't know, 1 or 2 years and I decide to do something with that and now I got a job with project management. Reach out, prove me wrong. I would love to hear from you. But that's what I want to share. Again, if you like the content, or make sure that you like this content and share it. That helps me to understand the value from what I'm doing here. That helps me this content to reach more people and I can help more people and I can get more feedback to understand what are your challenges and keep growing there. Don't forget to join the Project Management Summit. It will be 1 week, 4 sessions. I'm going to go much deeper with more exercise. There's a community where you can post your exercise, get comments, get feedback. Everything there is for free. So what you need to do there is just take the step, join, participate, watch the material, read the extra content, do the exercise, ask your questions. Because if your goal is to improve into project management, if your goal is to develop your project management skills, my goal is to support you in this journey. I hope, again, I'm going to see you there. I hope you like here. And if you have questions, of course, you can feel free to put your question here in the comments. And then see you next week in the Project Management Summit. Thank you. Bye.